I mean, I wanted to be the best. I mean, that's why we came here. And that's what the question right away was, how do you replace such amazing seniors that all those guys? And it was, what do we have to do to raise the bar higher?
So it was almost like, let's do something really different. Let's be a little bit radical here, and let's just kind of almost turn the program over. And so the first meeting I did something that I've never done, spoke for about 5 minutes, got some logistics out of the way, and then I said to the team, now the coaching staff is going to walk out of the room, and we're going to turn it over. The seniors are going to tell you how it's going to be. And that's how we started the year.
It's really hard to, once we won as juniors, you know, it's hard to accept anything else besides that your senior year. My words were, this is the standard at Duke, this is what we strive for, and we're not going to take it lightly. And we're going to work just as hard, if not harder. It's going to be a much more difficult year, you know, with the bullseye on our back now.
I think everyone wanted it again, and that was from day one.
Well, we talked a lot about just this is a new team, you know, so whatever happened last year is in the past, and it's not about repeating, it's not about winning another one, it's just this is a new team, so we got to start from scratch, basically.
They made it clear it was a separate season, and the seniors were really important in that in our first meeting.
We really also made a point as coaches that we were not going to go out and watch our guys run. We were not going to be part of the weight room. We wanted the voices coming from those coaches. We didn't want the guys to be out there performing because the coaches were watching. We wanted them to perform for the sake of, you know, you've got to do what's right now at this time.
Yeah, I think everyone was just extremely determined all fall.
Like I said, I think we all took a look in the mirror and was like, this is our last year, this is our legacy in the line, and I think we all took that a little personally. And just kept using that as motivation.
Just wanted to establish it early, you know, that the senior class was going to do whatever it took to be successful. And we just wanted the younger guys to kind of follow us and follow our lead, and we could help show them the way, and it worked.
Denver was, the first Denver game was a very interesting week. We had a freak ice storm here, and we weren't allowed to practice for 2 days. There were no classes, there was no practice, and that here in Durham, that was unprecedented for us.
Everything was on lockdown. Nobody could get out of their houses, and so we couldn't practice, and we obviously couldn't even get over the fields. So we're just hanging out at the house and everyone's like trying to do stuff. I remember me and Wolf went on a run the road in the snow.
So the guys kept their focus, they stayed on task, they did anything that they could do to run or to kind of just keep themselves going for those 2 days. You know, we really struggled with that as a coaching staff, but we learned a little bit about our guys, how important the season was to them and how important that Denver game was to them.
Senior class took it really personally. We never beat Denver. They smacked us around the first few years, and we really wanted to solidify that, get this monkey off our back in a sense that we're going to beat Denver, and yeah, that was kind of our motivation.
The night before the game, we met up as a team, and Coach D was like, "This will show how strong you are mentally and physically as a team if you can just focus on winning this game and forget what happened this week. Come together and realize that." Like you're prepared for this and that you're all ready to do it.
That was one of the coolest games, I think. Just like the fans all around you. It was just a really cool environment, I remember. Playing them on the practice field was really cool, you know, because it's kind of like where you work hard every day, like where we go out and run. We have practice, we're running scramble drills, all conditioning, we do it all out there. So it was definitely cool to get out there, you know, and play them on our practice field.
Matt and I knew that Denver was going to do everything they could to limit Jordan Wolf and Josh Dion and Case Mathias. We needed our midfielders to really come out and play. And that was, in my opinion, that was their coming out party.
It was awesome to see those two young guys, Miles and Deemer, really step up that game. I think that was the first kind of glimpse you got of what those two could do for this team this year as just sophomores. And so that was really where it all started.
I think we really saw the seniors dial in, and then to see them go out on game day and execute it and limit a very explosive team the way that we did, I thought was pretty neat and showed some glimpses of what the potential we had moving forward.
So that's when we kind of realized, said, hey, if these middies can play well, we're going to have the balance that we had a year ago, and we're going to be really difficult to stop.
It was just a big stepping stone in kind of our legacy and our careers. Although, you know, it's just one game, you know, it was a little bit of a bigger deal because it hadn't been done before, so it was special for us to be able to achieve that early on.
You know, one thing we kind of wanted to get rid of around here was the February thing, where Duke goes 0-4 and lose all their big games. February gets good. Like, we kind of wanted to try to squash that.
It was wild. I mean, just that burden of, oh my God, we won this early, and not many people said it, but it was like, all right, well, we've been so successful with our situation, and it's you lose early, you work your way up, and we're like, crap, we're winning early. You know, when do we start learning? When does the learning curve happen? So we're a little nervous.
We knew that with the ACC schedule and how tough the conference was on paper, that if we didn't get a good start, you know, this particular year, we could end up not making the playoffs.
I think it lifted the spirits up and it took us to a place we've never been, and it kept us hungry because we wanted to keep feeling that, you know, that way. We didn't want to have that desperation mode again.
Well, you know, we're heading into spring break, and the Thursday before spring break, we get a phone call from the White House saying, you know, are you guys coming on Monday? And none of us really understood that. We thought it was a prank because we hadn't had any prior notification. And then we followed up on Friday, and you know, it's a real invitation to join all the teams from the 2013 season. So you know, we lose to Loyola, and they whack us.
Yeah, I remember right after Loyola game being like, I don't want to go to the White House tomorrow. Like, get me out of here.
Definitely a little disappointing going to the White House after a loss.
Obviously, after we lose, we're all pretty grumpy, usually for a couple days.
It was just one of those bittersweet things. I mean, I was angry. I think I'm pretty grouchy sometimes, so I think I had a little poopy diaper at the White House. I wanted to win that game so badly, but all that went away when I saw the boys again. I don't care what happens in my life. If I saw Jake, Dave, and Offit and this random crew walk in, I think I'd smile no matter what. So and it was pretty funny because everyone was like, can we act happy even though we lost? But when they walked in, the mood changed pretty quickly.
We saw the guys from last year, and it kind of just made you think back to last year and just kind of got us all refocused, you know, obviously.
Put it back in our mind, you know, what this whole season for, what this journey is for, and, you know, what our ultimate goal is.
So it was just really cool to see the guys last year and them telling us, like, embrace this journey, like, this is all part of it. We have faith in you, you guys can do this, and that kind of refocused us, I think.
We didn't feel like we had the guys yet, and after that loss to Loyola, we kind of felt like that, listen, you need to trust us now, we need to trust you, and then we can go forward and start becoming a better team. But I don't think it was until that loss.
Every season's got its ups and downs, and perhaps the things that come the most from losses is you learn a lot about who you are and, you know, what you're able to do and what you can accomplish. And so when we lost those back-to-back games, we just kind of had to take a step back and say, okay, like, we've had some success, we beat Denver, we beat Penn, like, we're a good team, but there's still things that we can improve on and still things that we can get better at.
Especially me. I mean, I had a bunch of talks with Billy and Dave about, you know, being a leader and being a senior, and that weekend, and I think that was a turning point.
Duke, North Carolina is always fun.
It was a crazy game.
It was like the classic, like, vintage, like, Duke, North Carolina, like, rivalry.
And I just remember going into it, we were all like, we don't lose these guys. We just had to prove to everyone, you know, why Duke isn't North Carolina and why we play the way we do and why we do what we do.
I just remember it was a gorgeous day. It was a packed house at Koskinen. It was a perfect day, perfect scenario.
I remember it being a battle. It was a war, just back and forth, low-scoring affair.
A couple huge ground ball hit balls hitting the ground, and guys, you know, just diving to keep it alive and then picking it up and securing it. Luke Aaron had a great game in goal.
Defensively, we played well. Kyle Keenan had a big day for us, scoring 3 goals.
Down 2 and being man down, and I still thought we could pull it out. Like, from games past, like, I thought we just had a lot of experience on the field and nobody was really worried, and we would be able to, if we just kept playing, we would be able to come back.
So here we go, overtime, North Carolina and Duke. The face-off's a huge part of this game. UNC has won 13, Duke has won 6, but after all that, we're heading to the extra frame. Fowler in white, Kelly in the light blue, and here we go. Won by Duke. Wolf turns, shoots, and scores. It's over. Duke wins it on the 4th goal of the game by Jordan Wolf.
I think back to that game and I really just remember Jordan Wolf's goal at the end, and just doing, in a classic rivalry between Duke and UNC, and Jordan Wolf ending it in the classic fashion with his come up top and score the game winner.
But I just remember Wolf having the ball at the end and being so confident in him. He's been a playmaker. He's always stepped up when we needed him. So, well, I've always prided myself on that. I think Matt has taught me that, and we do a lot of practice, next goal wins and stuff like that. And I think that competitiveness in me, I always want the ball at the end. Yeah.
What a big finish for Duke. 9-8. They win it over UNC.
All-time great game. I think I'm gonna remember. That was a lot of fun.
It was a great team win, and it finished spring break where we spent a lot of time together in a fashion where it gave us a lot of energy to go forward.
I'll take any win. So that was just a really big momentum boost for our team.
Duke 21, Syracuse 7. So the Blue Devils are going to make it 7 straight.
I didn't know what was going on. That wasn't real, because it was like a video game. We were hammering them and everything was working great. It was perfect.
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty surreal. It was pretty exciting.
I was a bit amazed. I've seen it in practice, but I've never seen it in a game.
It was insane. We were scoring goals in so many different facets of the game.
I was kind of, to be honest, I was kind of amazed what I was seeing.
And make it, take it, and get it back to our offense, and then our offense was just on fire. It was nothing. They couldn't do anything wrong.
Our offense was just on fire. They could not be stopped, and even defensively, we were having a lot of success shutting them down. And
I think it just showed us, for our entire offense, that if there's 6 guys who are out there play together, anything's possible. Whether you're the guy getting the assist, the second assist, or making an invisible play, it kind of showed that it all comes back to you.
We just put 21 on cues. That ain't bad.
The Virginia game has always been, they've always been high-flying athletic affairs where the ball goes up and down both teams.
Wow, this team can be pretty good. Maybe a little inside, I was like, are we going to keep shooting 90% every game, or is Deemer going to keep hitting every shot? Is Walsh going to keep hitting every shot? Are we going to keep putting up 20 goals a game? And that was always that little bit of fear, I think, kind of motivated us to really work hard in practice. We didn't want to have an off game ever. And then, towards the end, I kind of got the feeling that, it was never going to wear off. This is just how their offense is. That was when I first had the glimpse that I think we could really do this again.
We kind of felt like, whoa, there's something going on here, and something bigger than we maybe anticipated.
10 seconds to go. Can the Orange get something going? Flips Rice. He's 15 yards away to the crease. Donahue scores! Whoa, they're saying that's the game winner!
I think it's human nature, that you just let your foot off the gas a little bit.
There were times where we were getting a little fat and big-headed, and it's impossible not to when things are going your way.
I think you hate to say a loss late in the year is beneficial, but I think we learned, I certainly learned that we could have managed that game better.
But for some reason, as soon as it happened, it was your heart sinks, and then instantly followed by what's the purpose behind it? Coach Janowski has taught us there's a reason for things. Things happen, and as much as it stunk in the moment, I knew it was going to be better for us, and I think all the seniors knew instantly we needed this to refocus.
We knew there was more to the season left, and that loss really recentered us, refocused us, and kind of revitalized our team.
Because we're going to now use it as got to get back to work, got to work hard, and I think that week Coach D really did work us hard, and it definitely paid off, I think.
We actually began the tournament with an extremely powerful team building session where we had all the guys kind of sit in a circle, and the coaches were outside the circle. And we had this ball of yarn, and we took the yarn, and whoever was speaking held the yarn, and then whoever was going to go next in a circle, he would throw it to, but he would hold on to his piece of yarn. And we asked the guys to share something about themselves, something that, we always tease the guys that, you guys always tell me that you're really close, but I'm telling you that you're not, because you hold back a lot of things from each other. And we created, at the end of, after everybody spoke, there's this huge kind of web, this network between everyone. And there were a lot of tears. There was a tremendous amount of emotion. It was one of the bravest things that I've seen in my 8 years at Duke, where it took a tremendous amount of courage for these guys to speak up. A lot was personal, a lot, it was all agreed that whatever was said here was going to stay here. And at the end, we asked everybody to hold the yarn really tight, and they did. And then I took a scissors and just kind of cut it in several spots and say, look how easy that this can be, this tightness, can be broken. And then we asked the guys to just cut off a piece and to wear those as bracelets. And everybody wore them throughout the playoffs. And I think that was the beginning of, let's not BS ourselves, let's not BS each other, let's try to be as honest as we can. If we don't understand something on the field, if we don't like the way somebody's doing something, let's really, really learn how to share, our emotions and share our thoughts with each other, because it's really safe. You can do it.
Everyone from, the last guy on the depth chart to, our superstars was able to open up about different experiences they've had, regrets that they may be feeling. And I think it truly showed, no matter what kind of facade you may have, everyone's got, something going on down deep. And to realize that was just, I think it added a whole another level of, understanding for each other, and we really grew to know each other that night.
And I would just look at the band, and it just made me think about 42 other guys and going through the same. They're feeling my pain, they're feeling my emotion. And that meeting, it was life-changing. It really was. To be a part of that was just honestly incredible.
I was losing it. The quarterfinals are always the most nerve-wracking game, just because A, you don't want to be the class that doesn't get to the Final Four, and how much you want to get to the Final Four. It just seems ridiculous of a Duke team not to be in championship weekend. And like I said, that was definitely the most nerve-wracking game.
If you're going to win the national championship in men's lacrosse, you're going to beat Johns Hopkins or Syracuse to do it. So when I saw that they were on the slate, I was excited about it.
It's cool because Coach Caputo says, in order to win a championship, you have to either beat a team like Syracuse or Hopkins. And that was our chance.
Well, there was a laser focus for sure, and I would say Casey Carroll shares that feeling for Hopkins that Matt does.
It's hard to put into words, the whole Johns Hopkins thing, ending my career and ending my season 3 times. So, I had a special brew for him. Jordan said something to me about, I wanted to beat these guys because of how my career kind of ended.
Absolutely. I mean, right when we beat Air Force, I went up to Matt and I said, we're gonna beat Hopkins. Like, I promise you, I'm gonna take that to heart, because I know how much he cares and his competitiveness and what Duke means to him. And I really want to get this win for him and Casey.
Yeah, I wanted it for Matt so bad, and I just wanted that chance to get redemption for them. As soon as it happened, that's what I thought.
But I think it was cool for Casey. We found out we were playing them. It kind of come full circle since 2007. But yeah, I mean, they really didn't say anything, but they didn't need to.
2 spots remain for a trip to Baltimore. The top-ranked Blue Devils hope to repeat as national champions. It's Johns Hopkins and Duke coming up next.
We were ready for that battle. And we weren't losing that.
And I thought we were ready to play, right from the first whistle.
Laws to the point, man, just like that. Defense to offense, the Blue Devils with the early lead. Oh my, what a shot. Jones, Dion, 6-0 champs. Laws to the point, extra pass, tic-tac-toe. What a move, what a play. A tremendous face dodge, Dust Pellegrino, and then Schneider, no chance. They needed an answer, he went to the question mark.
I mean, that was the most focused and fiery I think I've ever been in a game, just because I knew we were scoring a lot, and I didn't want people to get complacent, or I didn't want the momentum to switch, and you know, that was an important game for us.
We just happened to be in a groove that day, and it was fun to watch from the sidelines for sure.
I preach to our team a lot offensively that they can see where we're going on film, but they can't see how fast we're going there and how fast the ball moves.
The Duke Blue Devils advance. The top seed wins it 19-11 over Johns Hopkins. Stay in bounds and get it to Carroll. Oh my, here we go. Now here's Dupree. He doesn't see Lasicki. Look out!
It was heartbreaking is the only term.
My heart broke for him to see him go down like that. I was hoping it was just like a bone bruise or something.
The doctors did the ACL test and the MCL test, and that's when he kind of reported, he's like, I think you may have done your MCL and ACL here.
Said it, you know, he looked at me and thought it was his knee, and I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock. He was having the game of his career. You know, he was 4 for 4 shooting. 2 of his goals, you know, were spectacular, you know, and he was playing great.
Yeah, that was tough. You know, obviously see anyone go down, especially a senior captain, you know, one of your best friends get hurt was tough. But I don't know, I just remember him like smiling at me, like with his leg up on the sideline, just being like, I'll be fine, just go get the next one.
I mean, you saw him on the sideline. He was an amazing teammate. I mean, what better character could you have from a guy who goes down with a torn ACL and is the first guy on the sidelines on one leg and 2 crutches and 2 crutches in the air, cheering for goals and cheering for teammates. So while he wasn't on the field, he was still a familiar face on the sideline. I think that really helped everybody out.
He brings his passion and enthusiasm for Duke Lacrosse and his friends. I mean, he is the ultimate, you know, lacrosse lover, and that passion and enthusiasm and him just being out there as a friend almost, was a hard thing to lose.
Probably the funnest teammate I've ever been around, I think. You know, all the time, just loves lacrosse. I think we all rallied around him like I knew we would. And we really wanted to win this for him, and that was important for us.
But I think that the team we were very confident in that the next guy is going to have to step up.
You know, next man had to step up. It's happened all year. It's happened my whole time at Duke, and it didn't surprise me.
You definitely don't want to be the senior class that doesn't lead the team to the Final Four. And I think that was cool. Then going on to championship weekend was kind of like a deep breath of just being like, okay, we're here. Now let's move on and let's get what we're really after, which is a championship.
We also knew that those guys were so dangerous that they could, you know, put the ball in the back of the net anytime they wanted.
We were nervous before that game, I think, for sure. I was too. It was one of those things where, you know, I think they were out for blood, especially after the first game this year, and obviously, you know, win or go home.
Number 1 seeded Duke takes on Denver. These teams have banded together to make it to lacrosse's biggest stage and have formed the bond essential to winning a championship. It's over.
2 more days together. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you win them. It doesn't matter how it gets there as long as you keep competing for 60 minutes. And you know what? They did a pretty good job defensively because they held Cal Keating to 4-1.
I thought Moose was gonna kill it, so me and Di were talking about it.
I mean, I felt like a proud father at the, honestly. Like, he would come off and I would throw my cards out, give him the biggest hug, like he would just win the national championship every shift. And I knew it was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna be a stud. I knew he was gonna get 4. I mean, it was inevitable because it was his time to shine, and he jumps at that opportunity.
Once we won that semis game, it was huge. Just awesome to be back there. You know, and like we said, like you get to spend 3 more days in the hotel with everybody, which was the best part of it all.
We're back this year with the Blue Devil Network. I'm Josh Dion, and we're here with attackman Kyle Keenan. Kyle, how you doing?
Good.
Real lively one.
The last practice is light. It's easy. It's at a new venue somewhere, but the guys know how meaningful that practice is as well.
What is going through your mind with this stash you got going on?
I'd say the first thing about it is it's a bit of a fashion statement. A lot of weird things are in today. I'm just trying to start a new trend.
How mad do you get when people ask for new cleats?
Depends on the day.
Monday.
Not as bad.
Well, one of the things we tell the guys is that we've done everything that we can do. That's number one. And we're not really going to change a lot in one practice session. That whatever you did to get here is really good.
What are your thoughts going into tomorrow?
We're going to do good tomorrow.
Hey, hi. Jordan Wolf here with Boys Latin Love. Christian Wall. Say hi, Christian.
Hi, Jordan.
It was weird. I mean, it was weird, but it was almost like calming. It was strange. I think Jordan Wolf was more fired up to be back at my old high school than I was.
What's running through your head being back at the house that Travis built?
I'm speechless. Yeah, it's awesome to be back.
He had a good time doing that. But it was weird just because after I sat back down on the bus, I was like, talk about coming full circle back to your hometown, your last practice of your career on your high school field. Again, I wouldn't change a thing with the way this is all wrapped up.
Great style.
You got it.
Anything else? That's all I got.
Kyle, I know that everyone's looking forward to seeing your performance tomorrow. I wish you the best of luck, and I love you with all my heart, buddy. Good luck. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.
The national championship was probably the game I was the least nervous about because I was like, well, this is the last time we're out here, like, no matter what.
To be one of the last 2 teams standing to win that semifinal game and to be, to know that you're 60 minutes away from capturing a national championship is pretty special, and a lot of adrenaline was flowing at that point in time.
We don't ever get to play again, which was really a weird feeling, going into the game. We were just kind of like, this stinks. Like, it's cool that that we're playing for it, but this is the last time we're all playing together. So it's definitely bittersweet, but I wouldn't have wanted to end any other way.
It'll be Brendan Fowler for Duke facing off against Liam O'Connor for Notre Dame. Is the trophy going back to Durham, or is it heading west? Fowler pushes it forward, so Duke goes to work first. Step down to Walsh and scores! A great look for class. That's why they call it execution. Now here comes Wolf running around. Throws the double, gets it to Jones, make it 3. Class, time, room, bullseye. Dargent save, Aaron with the shoulder, and he grabs it. All scored in South Bend, and he scores right here as he puts it in the coffee can.
The team favorite, when he got to come down and run the length of the field and score a goal, and I saw our bench react to that, I knew that our team, in its entirety, was going to captivate it till the end.
The defending champs throw a haymaker in the first 30 minutes. Kevin Corrigan's club's going to have to play catch-up.
We knew, we all thought that there was greatness in this group, and you saw that for those first 30 minutes. You saw that, for those 30 minutes, it was almost flawless.
To hold a team in the national championship game to 1 goal through 30 minutes is an incredible accomplishment.
All the seniors were saying, our last 30 minutes, let's give it all we got and see what happens. We knew they were going to make a run. Notre Dame's a great team. You're not going to hold them to 1 goal, and we just wanted to sustain the punches and keep fighting ourselves. You knew they were going to put on a run. We knew. We just had to stick true to what we're doing.
What was a slow-paced and sloppy first half is opening up into what looks to be a thrilling final 10 minutes.
I started to pace, but actually Josh Dine was right in front of me the whole time. He was like, "We're gonna be fine," and I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right."
And like people would ask me like, and I'd come off and I'd be like, "It's all right, it's all right." And I think people would listen to me because I was playing. But you know, I'm cruising up and down on my crutches saying it's gonna be all right. And I don't know if kids are like, "This kid's crazy right now." You know, I didn't know what people were thinking, but I was just trying so hard to keep that fire going.
Talked about, you know, I thought we bent a little bit, but we didn't break. And credit to those guys for standing firm and for making the plays when we needed to make plays.
No, I never feel comfortable until the game is over. You know, I've just watched too many athletic events over the years. I was at the Syracuse-Duke game this year at the PPL Park. To know that, you know, until there's zeros on the board, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Brendan Fowler seal the deal for the champs, or does O'Connor give the Irish life?
He's a warrior. No one wants it more than Brendan Fowler, and I knew at the end when it came down to, you know, one face-off, he was going to win it. There's no doubt in my mind.
But the last face-off at the end was cool. Dion came crutching down the sidelines, sent me as fast as he could. He was like, "Hey, just go get one last one for everybody." So I definitely had him in my head when I went out to take that last one.
It seems like I underplayed it so much, but I just walked up to the kid and I was like, "Oh, Brendan, like, I kind of need you now. I need you to just win this one more for me, just casually, like one more." You know, and all game, he was a gladiator, man. He knew what he had to do.
Fowler muscles it right to his stick.
My guess is that Wolf will take 2 steps in one direction, probably to his left, and then explode back to his strong right hand.
And Wolf and the Blue Devils run out 30.5 seconds and bring the trophy back to Durham for a 3rd time.
Jab step left, boom.
Landis trying to cut him off at the sideline. He cannot.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Dagger. Start pitching the tents in Danowskiville. There's a new dynasty at Duke.
What's up, buddy? Love you. I'll bring him in here.
This kid's won 2 national championships.
Didn't feel real. Like I was just looking around like, is this happening? Like
It was just surreal.
It was just incredibly surreal. Like, did we really just do this? Like,
It was unbelievable to celebrate with the guys.
You know, again, kind of a whirlwind, you know, kind of like it was last year where you're like, this really just happened.
To see the joy on the faces of the young men that you work with and your coach.
It's been awesome. You know, the locker room afterwards, it's really hard to explain the feeling of winning it to anybody unless you've done it, you know, and to do it back to back was just, you can't even put it into words.
so when I got the trophy, it really was just like, even when we ran out on the field and we're throwing our stuff everywhere, I was so like, hey, like, is this really it? Like, is this over? Like, this is the championship? And it just grabbing the trophy and just holding it in my hands and seeing it, it just was like, all right, like, we did it. Like, we really, really did it again.
And then there's this next, wave of celebration, and the trophy is right there in the middle of the locker room, and there's nothing like it. There's just it's joyful, and it comes from, there's tears, and I am so fortunate to be involved in one of those, and to be involved in 3 is crazy to think about, but it never gets old, and it's an unbelievable feeling.
On 3, Steve! 1, 2, 3!
But every year it's different. Every year each team has a different journey. And so for this 2014 championship year, it was a different journey for these guys. And it was a perfect culmination to, our senior class's career here.
It's such a strange surreal and when the game is over. Because you play, 19 games over the course of a year, you shake hands with your opponent and then you walk off into the locker room.
You win, but you're like, hey, maybe we didn't play our best, like who's next? But you know it's over. So it's definitely, you won, but it's like, we're always playing, like our motto is always like one more week together, one more week with the boys, and then that's why you want to win, you want to spend more time together, and then you win the last one, it's just over. But it's definitely a lot better than losing, that's for sure.
So just being around my teammates and my best friends and my brothers, that'll be, the thing that I miss the most about this place.
It was bittersweet, to be honest. It was the most amazing feeling in the world. I mean, know that all your hard work paid off, and we did it with this, special group of coaches, special group of players. But walking off the field, the last minute, locker room was just sad knowing it was my last game. But no better way, to end my career.
I remember vaguely trying to explain to my daughters, this is why, Dad wasn't around. But it was very special. It was great for us to be together and to celebrate that moment together.
Seeing his wife hugging Coach on the field was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I was just like, wow, this is the end. But there's no better way to end than with a victory and with a championship. I mean,
I had a feeling it would be pretty great, my career here, but I didn't imagine this. I'm so lucky. Words can't describe it.
Like, this isn't supposed to happen. You're supposed to maybe get a shot at one of these, maybe get to a Final Four. I mean, kids at other places dream of playing in a Final Four, and I got to play in 4 here, and I got to play in 2 national championships and win back-to-back. I just still can't believe it. I'm kind of at a loss for words, and
it's just so special.